Hi everyone. Today I am going to discuss about Java concurrency. Okay. So before that one, please subscribe my channel, like and share. Okay. So what is concurrency? Let me explain with a real time example. Okay. So suppose a house is getting constructed. Okay. So one people is working on to construct a house. Okay. So it will take lot of time to construct a house with the only one person. Okay. If there are like 100 people are involved in constructing the house, though that will be faster to construct a house, right? So in such a way it will be improve the performance, faster way to complete the house. Okay. So in the same thing we have in a Java programming. Suppose Java has a 100 lines of code, right? So 10 methods. Okay. So we have a main thread. Okay. So thousands of requests are coming and main thread is executing all the 100 lines of code. Okay. So it will take time to complete all 100 I mean 100 requests, right? So if there are many multiple threads, so those are used for executing a part of code, right? And it will be in a faster. Okay. When you increase the number of threads, so the faster way it executes the all the request. So it is better to have a multiple threads to execute the multiple parts of code, right? So how to implement? So the JVM has a thread pool. So in thread pool for the it has a multiple threads created. So whenever required, we can use these threads from that thread pool. Apart from main thread will be executing the code, but apart from main thread we can use these threads to execute the code, right? So this is how concurrency will work. So you can create a custom thread pool also, where you can specify the threads, number of threads, and use those threads to create a pool, and I mean you execute the code. Okay. So let's implement concurrency using a completable future. Okay. So simple completable future. Okay. Complete, why we are using completable future means, so which is like a synchronous way of implementing the concurrency, where it doesn't have to you know use main thread or wait for main thread to complete the code and all. So the part of code in a method, suppose if in a method, so lines 5 lines of code are there. Okay. So we can execute that 5 lines of code using a completable future in a synchronous way. We don't have to run those 5 lines of code only using main thread. Okay. So how to implement completable future? So it provides some different ways of implementing the completable future. So let's try to implement simple completable future. Okay, how can we implement? So I will print this one. Okay, using a get method, we can get the result of simple future. Okay, here I am getting a error, so we have to catch the errors. Okay, so using a try catch block, so here interpreted exception or execution exception may occur while executing this completable future. Let's run this one. So here we are printing the result, that is hello, what is result of simple future. Okay, so why we are using get? So there is another way of printing the result, that is simple future dot join. Okay, what is the difference between dot get and dot join method? Okay, so dot get method, it will block the main thread, whatever executing main thread is there, right? It will block that main thread until this completable future completes that particular lines of code. Okay, execution of that code. But here join will not block the main thread. It will, it is better to use join uh, sometimes, many times, but yeah, big, both has different ways of, you can say, like advantages or disadvantages. Okay, so now I am using a get one, so I'm printing the result of simple feature. So this is how we can implement a simple feature. uh, okay, so we have a run async. It runs the lines of code, you know asynchronous, and it doesn't expect any result. Okay, so how to implement that one? So before that one, I will try to implement supply async. Supply async is same as run async, executing the code in a synchronous way, but here run async will give the result, but run supply async will give the result. Run async will not give any result, it will give void. There is no result from this. Okay, so I will show you both. First I will try to implement supply async. Okay, so let's print this supply async. Okay, so we will use dot join. So you can see it is returning a hello. So the result, it is returning a string, that is hello. Okay, so in case of run async, it returns a void, means there is no result. So as per the requirement, you can use run async or supply async. So in case of, suppose you are executing a 100 lines of code, 5 lines of code or 10 lines of code, right, inside this block. So and you are expecting some result from this one. Okay, so that can be string or any object. Okay, so then you can use a supply async. Okay, suppose if you are executing some 10 to 15 lines of code, so you are not expecting any result to be used in later, okay, lines of code. You just forget about that result, that is asynchronous. Okay, so then you can use run async. So let me show you how to implement run async. Okay, you can see here I am printing a thread name. Since run async, it will run in a separate thread, that is from fork join pool it will get a one thread, use that one thread to run the code in this block. Okay, so it will not run in a main thread. So here void, it is not returning any result. Okay, so in that case, as per your requirement, you can use supply async or run async. Okay, so now combining the completable futures. Suppose you have a future 1, future 2, future 3, something like that. So you are running lines of code in all futures, like future 1, future 2. So you have to combine the result of future 1, future 2, future 3. So depends upon the futures you have implemented. Okay, so there are combining those results of those features. So we have different types ways of combining. Okay, then apply, then accept, then combine all of. Okay, so how, when to use all these things I will explain you. Okay, so then apply means, suppose you are executed 5 lines of code in a future 1. Okay, so you got the result, future 1 result. On top of that one you have to apply something. Okay, so to get some other result. Okay, so then you have to use a then apply. Let me show you how to implement the code. So here I have a future 1. Okay, I have completed some 5 lines of code which is returning future 1 result. Okay, so on top of this future 1 result I have to apply something. So what is I am doing is I am adding a word to the result of future 1, am getting a new result, that is string future 2. So let's try to add a try catch block. Okay, so if we print, you can see here hello world. So final result will be hello world. So what I am doing is future 1 is executed, and the result of on top of result of future 1 I am applying something to form a new result. Okay, that is I am concatenating world string to the result of future 1. Okay, then it will return future 2 result. Okay, so that is final result will be hello. This is how we can use then apply. Okay, when you have to use then accept, in then apply we are getting a new result, right, as a future 2 after applying on a future 1. But in then accept, it will accept the previous future result, and it will not return anything here. So here future 2 is return some result, right, after applying something on previous future, that is future 1. But in case of then accept, you don't return anything, you just perform something. Let me explain you with the code. So let's say I have future 3. Okay, so I am using future 3, I am accepting the result of future 3, and I am printing those future 3 result. This can be anything you can perform. Let's say okay, so here I am accepting the future 3 result. I am applying something, doing some concatenation. You can do anything, any result, anything you can do, any code you can execute in this block. Okay, you just have to accept the result of previous future, that is future 3, and use that result and do some uh, execute some logic. But here I am not returning any result, right, I am just performing something here, I am not returning anything. But in case of then apply, we were returning some result back, right. So here I am not returning anything. Let's run this one. So it is printing hello world. Okay, these are the two difference. What, suppose if you want to use the previous result and return something on applying something, okay, then you can use then some apply. If you don't want to return anything, then use then accept, okay. Here I am not returning anything, I am just using the result of previous feature, that is future 3. I am executing something in this block. So when to use combine? So let me explain you. So suppose you have a future 1, future 2, so you have to combine the result of future 1 and future 2, okay. Then you have to use combine, then combine, okay. Here what I am doing, I am using the result of future 5, future 6 and combining those result, which will produce the combined result of future 5 and future 6, which you can see 15. So future 5 is returning 5, future 6 returning 10. So I am combining 5 plus 10, okay, 5 plus 10, that is returning combined result. This will give the result, combined result, okay. So that is after combine dot join, it will give the complete result of this combined result. So future 5 is then combined with future 6 and inputs are x, y, that is future 5 result and future 6 result. So it can be anything, you can do x plus y, x into my, suppose if I want to perform x into y, okay. Let's see, 50, 10 into 5, 50. So this logic, it can be anything, you can perform anything using the result of future 5, future 6, that is x is the future 5 result, x, y is the future 6 result. Then you can, here you can do any x into y, x divided by x plus y, x minus y, whatever custom logic you want to implement, okay. So this is how combine will work. So all of, when to use all of, okay. So let me explain when to use all of. Suppose we have a future 1, future 2, future 3, okay. So completable future dot all of will wait all the futures, future 1, future 2, future 3 to complete, okay. So then after that one, after completing all the futures, then you can perform anything, get the result of future 1, future 2, future 3, and you can do anything. And here I am just printing, okay, future 1, future 2, future 3 result, but you can perform, you can combine the result, you can do multiply the result, whatever according to your requirement you can do. So all of will wait for all the future 1, 2, 3 to complete. If there are future 10, it will, all of what it will do, it will wait for all the future to complete. Then after all the futures are completed, then you can perform any kind of logic, custom logic you can use, okay. So let me run this code. So here we are running result 1, result 2, result 3 of future 1, future 2, future 3. Okay. So if there are 5 futures, future 1, 2, 3, so you can use completable future all of future 1, future 2, future 3, future 4, future 5. So after completing all the futures, then you can get the result and perform any kind of operations. Okay. So exception handling with the completable future. How can you do exception handling? Okay, let me show you. So suppose I am running a completable future using supply sync. So it is expecting some result. So here an exception is thrown in this block, right? So I want to handle that exception. So that is using exceptionally. So you can capture that exception and I am printing default value. Okay. So you can print anything, you can print actual exception also, whatever exception is coming you can print. Okay. So it's not like that you can print default error value only. Here for the sake of I am just printing default value. Let's run this one. Okay. So this is how exception handling will work. So here I am printing. So new exception is thrown, that is runtime exception error. Okay. So exceptionally it will handle that catch of exception and it will give this. Okay. So let's say I will print this exception. Okay. Okay. So it has to return the value. So printing. So here you can see here I am catching that exception here in exceptionally block and I am returning the cause whatever exception occur, right. So it is the cause is runtime exception error. So it is being thrown in this block. So I am returning same thing. This is how you can handle the exception. Okay. So this is all these are different ways to implement completable future in a Java. Okay, so thank you so much. Please subscribe my channel.